considered to be the very first rock and roll DJ? Was it Alan Freed from Cleveland, Ohio? Or could it have been a guy from right here in Memphis, Tennessee? Stick around, and I'll let you decide.
Most people know Alan Freed as a disc jockey who coined the term rock and roll. He started his career at radio station WKST in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, playing classical music. He would later make his way to Cleveland, Ohio, and on July 11, 1951, he nicknamed himself Moondog and began playing rhythm and blues music on a show he called the Moondog Rock and Roll House Party on WJW AM. Less than a year later, he hosted what historians call the very first rock and roll concert on March 21st, 1952. The show featured rhythm and blues acts like Paul Williams, Tiny Grimes, and the Dominoes. As his radio show grew in popularity, he was offered a job at WINS in New York in 1954. While working there, he became known as one of the top rock and roll DJs in the country and was featured in 5 rock and roll movies. His fame grew and eventually landed a job in 1958 at WABC. It would all come crashing down a year later when he was fired for participating in payola. Is Alan Freed the first rock and roll DJ? We have to go to Memphis to find out the answer. Almost 2 years before Alan Freed started his Moondog show, a young Dewey Phillips went on the air in Memphis, Tennessee on WHBQ AM. It was November 3rd, 1949, and the name of the show was The Red, Hot, and Blue Show. He was a white DJ playing the latest R&B tunes for a black audience. The same thing Alan Freed would be doing almost 2 years later. Dewey was also attracting the attention of white teenagers who were forbidden to listen to this music, just like Alan Freed would do later. In 1953, WHBQ moved the studios from the Gayoso Hotel to the Chiska Hotel. It was from this location that Dewey made rock and roll history. He would become the very first DJ to play an Elvis record on the air. It was a song called That's All Right Mama. That same night, he even interviewed a young Elvis Presley live on the air. The only advice he gave a nervous Elvis was, just don't say anything dirty. Dewey had a close relationship with Sun Records owner Sam Phillips and would end up playing some of the very first rock and roll hits from that label on his radio program. In 1956, he had an unsanitized version of American Bandstand called Pop Shop, which was a local hit on television. It even kept Dick Clark's American Bandstand off the TV in Memphis. In 1958, with the advance of Top 40 radio, personality DJs were no longer in demand, and Dewey was let go by WHBQ. So who would you consider the very first rock and roll DJ? Cleveland has the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because of Alan Freed, but Memphis has Elvis, Sun Records, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins because of Dewey Phillips. We even have the Bass Pro Pyramid, and that's a lot cooler than Cleveland's Pyramid. The next time you listen to rock and roll, remember to thank Alan Freed and Dewey Phillips, or whoever you consider to be the very first rock and roll DJ. Let me know who you think it is in the comments below. Thanks for joining us on this retro road trip. If you're digging these rock and roll stories, hit that subscribe button and catch new adventures every Friday. Got a favorite music, city, or legend? Let us know in the comments. See you down the road.
Sit, Elvis, sit.
Woof.
Good dog.